Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to present a seminar based on vitamin C production and production of acrylamide by nitrile hydratase. So first we come to vitamin C production. So introduction, vitamin C is also called as L-ascorbic acid in organic terms. It is found in food and also dietary supplements. It is a water-soluble vitamin, and as we know, it occurs in a white or yellow color crystal form or powder with acidic taste. And on exposure to light, it gets converted. It gets little darkened. It is stable in air, but if you put it in solution, it oxidizes. The normal empirical formula is C6H8O6. Now, vitamin C production is done by extraction from plants, by chemical synthesis, by fermentation, or mixed fermentation. That means chemical synthesis and fermentation. So, the manufacture of vitamin C is mainly by two methods. One is Dickstein process, and the other is two-stage fermentation process. This is the actual ring structure of vitamin C. First, we come to Dickstein process. So, Dickstein process is a chemical and microbial process which was discovered by Tadeusz Dickstein and his colleagues in 1933, for which he won a Nobel Prize. So, there are four steps involved in this process. First step is catalytic dehydrogenation, in which the glucose is converted into sorbitol. The second step is microbial fermentation, where the sorbitol is converted to L-sorbose using Gluconobacter species, and the L-sorbose is further oxidized to 2-keto L-gluconic acid after chemical steps. So the 2-KLG or 2-keto L-gluconic acid can be then converted into ascorbic acid by lactonization. So here you can see a structural representation. The first step is catalytic hydrogenation. Second step is microbial conversion. And the third step is oxidation. Fourth step is lactonization. The oxidation process is done with potassium permanganate, and which is followed by heating with water. That gives us 2-KLG or 2-keto L-gluconic acid. The final step is a removal of water, which gives us a ring structure. So first step is hydrogenation. Here we add glucose, nickel as a catalyst, and it undergoes hydrogenation, where it gets converted to sorbitol. Then sorbitol is converted by Acetobacter suboxidans at pH 4 to 6 or temperature 30 degrees Celsius into sorbose. The sorbose in presence of acetone in acidic condition gets converted to 2-keto L-gluconic acid, followed by potassium permanganate oxidation. We get 2-KLG. Then in this process, heating is also involved. And the fourth step is ring closing via dehydration, okay, to get ascorbic acid. The fermentation process, which we spoke of, where Gluconobacter oxidants or Acetobacter suboxidants is used, is a fed batch fermentation process. It's aerobic, stir tank bioreactor is used, and it's a submerged fermentation. Now, the key enzyme here is sorbitol dehydrogenase, which this organism produces, and hence the sorbitol is converted into sorbose. The nitrogen source here which we use is yeast extract. pH is 4 to 6 and temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. This is a basic representation of stir tank bioreactor as we have studied. So this disadvantage of this process is that there's explosive gas H2, which is used in catalytic hydrogenation. It requires high pressure and temperature, so energy is high intensive. And acetone, which we use, and KMNO4, which we used, is toxic to environment. The second process which we use in vitamin C production is two-step fermentation process. So this was developed in China by Bernhard's team. Now, compared to Dickstein process, it has advantages, that is it is less costly, less chemicals and energy are required, and even low investment in production equipment. So the main difference in this is the second chemical steps reactions are replaced with a second fermentation step. So mixed fermentation in this requires Ketogluconicidum vulgare and Bacillus species, which is conducted to convert L-sorbose into intermediate 2-KLG. which is in the two-step fermentation process. The drawback of this process is that the yield is less. That's all. So here you can see the first, there is a mixed acid fermentation using K. vulgare and Bacillus species. So the second step, where after catalytic hydrogenation and fermentation by gluconobacter oxidants, the L-serbose which is formed, it is converted into KLG, not by any chemical process, but by second fermentation by mixed culture of K. vulgare and Bacillus species, which gives us 2-KLG, and then followed by same lactonization and water removal to give us ring form of L-ascorbic acid. Now, the vitamin C which is produced can be used in animal feed, beverages, food additives, and pharmaceuticals, and K is also used as chemical derivatives as sodium ascorbate and calcium ascorbate. Now, low levels of vitamin C can have a lot of deficiencies in us, and it can also lead to heart disease, hypertension, and stroke, atherosclerosis. A severe form of vitamin C, which we all know as scurvy. So here is the basic differentiation between dextrine process and two-step fermentation. So as you know, that first step is sorbitol to sorbose, which is followed by a second fermentation in two-step. But there, in dextrine process, the chemical processes follow to give us 2-KLG, and then the raw vitamin C can be purified. Now, the main need for biosynthesis of vitamin C is because first it was extraction technology it was used, but we are now preferring industrial biotechnology based processes because the vitamin C which is present in plant and animal source is actually very less, and it fluctuates, and the shell life is also not very good. And the vitamin C is water soluble, as I said, and it can easily be lost by aqueous extraction or other manipulation. Now, this process which we use is renewable, and the molecules which are produced are in the desired chiral form. It is economically favorable, and also it's considered as no harm to society and sustainable technology. The second topic for today is acrylamide production using nitrile hydratase. Now, what is acrylamide? So acrylamide is nothing but a chemical which is used as coagulator, soil conditioner, and stock additive for treatment in leather and textile industry. Acrylamide can be also synthesized both chemically and enzymatically. Now, chemical method has some disadvantages. One is that the rate of formation of byproduct. Then second is there's a lot of acrylic acid produced than acrylamide, and that requires high energy input. Then microbial bioconversion of acrylonitrile using whole cells which can produce nitrile hydratase has lot of economical and environmental friendly features. There is also another culture of whole cells of Paracoccus species used, which act as a biocatalyst for this production of acrylamide in batch reaction. So here you can see a basic differentiation why we use enzymatic process over the catalytic or chemical process. So the reaction temperature you can see in catalytic process is 70 degrees Celsius, while in enzymatic process it's only 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. Then one pass reaction yield, that means in one process, the reaction yield is 70 to 80% in catalytic, while in enzymatic it's 99.9%. Product concentration is only 30% in catalytic process, but the product concentration reaches up to 50% in enzymatic process. The residual acrylonitrile is more than 30% in catalytic process, and in enzymatic process, hardly any acrylonitrile is left without being converted. Purification is very hard. There is removal of copper also needed in catalytic process. While in enzymatic process, there's only decoloring needed. Catalytic process has lot of byproducts, while in enzymatic process, there is none byproduct. And here the energy consumption also, enzymatic process has a lot of advantage. Now, biotransformation or bioconversion is nothing but the conversion of one substance to another very beneficial product or a product of high industrial value by biological means. So, acrylamide is produced from acetonitrile by using microorganisms that have nitrile hydratase activity. Okay, so some organisms which have these activity is Bacillus, Rhodococcus, Brevibacterium, Corynebacterium, Pseudomonas, and Arthropoda. More than 90% of acrylonitrile can be converted, as I told you in the above table. Enzymatic reaction is carried out in moderate condition, as we saw, and the nitrile acts as a source of carbon and nitrogen for the growth of microorganisms, so we don't really have to supply them with a lot of extra growth nutrients or anything. So here what you do is aromatic or heterocyclic or any unsaturated aliphatic nitriles are converted by using these microorganisms into corresponding acids and ammonia by nitrilase or nitrile hydratase, and with very few formation of amide. Saturated aliphatic nitriles are catabolized in second stage. So the first step you can see, they are converted into corresponding amides by nitrile hydratase, which is further converted into acids and ammonia by amidase. So here you can see the acrylonitrile is converted into acrylamide accumulation into acrylamide by nitrile hydratase, which is then converted into acrylic acid ammonia by amidase. As I told you, Paracoccus whole cells are used so that they act as a catalyst instead of using the copper in catalytic process. The enzyme that, so nitrile hydratase is nothing but the enzyme that adds or hydrates nitriles to corresponding amides. Here you can see that we use an inducer known as methacrylonitrile. Growth medium should have some amount of ferric and ferrosinus and chemical mutagenesis. So the Pseudomonas species which we use mainly in, this is an example of a process which is mainly used in labs. So Pseudomonas chlorophyll is used and it is mutated by N-methyl, N-nitro, N-nitrosoguanidine, so that it is more active and more yield is received. A bioreactor is used for this process where the acrylonitrile is converted to acrylamide. So the main microbial process is first to cultivate the organism and then you immobilize the bacteria. Then the first hydration reaction at 10 degrees Celsius, where nitrile hydratase in the bacteria converts it into amide. Converts it. After that, the amidase will convert it into acrylonitrile, where it is where it can be separated from immobilized cell. So the only purification or other step which you have to do is decoloring. No removal of copper ions. After decoloring, you can concentrate and acrylamide product is received. So the process is very simple as shown in this flow chart. Only hydration, then acrylonitrile plus H2O by amidase. Then after that separation, decoloring, concentration, and the recovery is very easy. It's non-hazardous, cost-effective, and very lesser byproducts. Now, here are some research papers related to my seminar topics. So the first one was vitamin C production, right? So the title of this paper is Metabolic Engineering of Microorganisms for Vitamin C Production. The authors of this paper are Jingwen Shou, Wengwen Du, and Jian Chen. So the abstract of this is normally telling us that vitamin C is an important organic acid that it has a lot of advantage and uses in pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, food, beverage, feed additive, and how the two processes like the Crickstein process and the biotechnological process of vitamin C is an attractive approach because it has low cost and high yield. So in this chapter, in this paper, what they've done is they've compared the one-step fermentation process and two-step fermentation process, and then they've given the results and conclusion. Then even the prospects of biotechnological production is discussed. So based on this current results, they have discussed that the development of vitamin C should be done by metabolic engineering, and they should mainly focus on the following areas. So demonstration of mutual relationship between Bacillus megaterium and K. vulgar, and therefore enhance cell growth and 2-KLG production by K. vulgar. So they have performed certain experiments on the mutual relationship and how they can increase the 2-KLG production. Then elucidation of genes involved in biosynthesis and transportation of 2-KLG and its intermediate metabolites in both classical 2-step and new 2-step fermentation process steps. So here they have studied the genes which are involved in this biosynthesis and transportation of 2-KLG. The third point is investigation of the mechanisms of PQQ dependent incomplete oxidation dehydrogenases and the regeneration of PQQ. PQQ is nothing but a quinone which is can be isolated from a fungal culture, and they are investigating on these mechanisms too. Then discovery of efficient metabolic pathways for direct fermentation of vitamin C and even its stable derivatives. The second title is Purification and Characterization of Amidase from Paracoccus species, Utilization of Amidase. So abstract of this is nitriles are nothing but compounds which are cyanogroup, and that's why they are little toxic and synthesis is difficult chemically. They are produced even naturally and synthetically. It's found in plants, bone oils, insects, and microorganisms in low concentration, but it's in a complex of biomolecules. Now, synthetic nitriles can be used as solvents, extracts, and manufacture of pharmaceuticals and also drugs. Important for synthesis of amines, amides, carbolic acids, esters, aldehydes, ketones, and heterocyclic compounds. Now, the results and conclusions they came up to was that first they optimized few conditions or reaction conditions for conversion of acrylonitrile to acrylamide by using pre-incubated whole cells of Paracoccus species. Then they defined 1 unit of nitrile hydratase activity as the amount of enzyme that converted 1 micromole of acrylonitrile to acrylamide per minute mg dry weight. So they isolated Paracoccus species, which is able to degrade aliphatic nitriles. Then this strain was successfully used to remove about 94 to 9 plus or minus 1.5% acetonitrile. Amidase from nitrile degrading Paracoccus species was then purified to homogeneity and characterized. Further, the use of amidase inhibited wholesale Paracoccus species was also used as a biocatalyst for production of acrylamide. So here they've used the bacterial state also as Paracoccus and also the whole cells of Paracoccus as a biocatalyst. So at the end of this process, the accumulation of acrylamide reached about 27 gram mole with 65% conversion of acrylonitrile in just about 2 hours. I hope you are clear with the two topics, which is vitamin C production and acrylamide production from acrylamide production using nitrile hydratase. So in both the processes, we see how microbial use is there. In the vitamin C production, we use cultures of various forms, and in various forms such as Leuconobacter and Acetobacter mainly. And here we discussed two processes, which is Rixstein process and 2-step fermentation process. And the main highlight was catalytic hydrogenation, followed by microbial fermentation, and either 2-step fermentation process or mixed fermentation or chemical methods to produce 2-KLG, and then lactonization to produce vitamin C. In acrylamide synthesis, also we saw how certain microorganisms have the ability to produce this enzyme called nitrile hydratase, and hence we exploit the use or the enzyme produced in order to produce acrylamide from acrylonitrile. You can ask any questions. Thank you.